This man killed his wife, all because she refused to have sex with him on a Sunday morning. 38-year-old Ayam Ronke was married to 63-year-old Tony Joshua Popola, and together they lived in Ikorodu of Lagos State. Ronke was said to be a tailor and also a singer in her church. It's not stated how many children she has or how many she has with her husband Tony, but what we know about her is that she had an older daughter from a previous relationship who also lived with her and Tony in their apartment in Ikorodu. Ronke was also said to be the breadwinner of her own siblings and her relatives, and I guess by this they mean that she alone takes care of her child and her relative from her own pocket. Now, not much is known about her 63-year-old husband, Tony, but it was said that Tony worked at custom where he cleared goods being imported into the country, and that he also used to travel to Austria back in the day. It is not stated whether or not Tony had a previous marriage or if he had any children from those marriages. Given the fact that he's 63, it is possible that he had been married before, and it was not also stated if he and Ronke had a child together. Now, according to multiple sources, on the 28th of April 2024, it was said that Ronke woke up and was getting ready to go to church. She attends a white garment church and she was in the choir of that church and most likely the choir leader in the church. And so it was important for her to be in church early enough. For those who were present, their neighbors and relatives, they said that when she got dressed and got ready to go, that was when her husband, Tony, suddenly found her attractive that morning and decided to request sex from her before she left for church. Unfortunately for him, Ronke was not in the mood, neither was she in the state of mind, because this was her getting ready to go to church. And he was aware of that. And her refusal suddenly led to an argument. Maybe an argument that had been bottled up by a lot of grievances that this man might have had, because I don't know why your wife refusing to have sex with you till she comes back from church is something that could escalate this far. It seems to me that this may have been more than just her having sex with him. It was said that when she refused, Tony threw tantrums, they argued and fought, and somewhere along the line, he brought out a knife and stabbed her multiple times. Some sources said he even used hot water on her. There were even claims that he went as far as mutilating her body. But those were just claims that were not backed up by evidence of fact. But what we know for a fact, what a lot of the news outlets reported, was that she was stabbed multiple times during the fight with her husband. And when Ronke's daughter heard her mother screaming and shouting, she came to her aid, and she also got stabbed by her stepfather, Tony, who then locked the door of the house from the outside, took important documents, and then ran away. While this whole fight was going on, the neighbors were also listening in and hearing that there was a commotion coming in from Tony's place. So after they had seen him left the house, they quickly rushed in to see what had happened to the wife, Ronke. And by the time they got there, the door had been locked, and before they could force it open, Ronke had already died from her injuries. However, her daughter was quickly rushed to the hospital as they found her still breathing. She was the one who gave most of the statements to the police. It was also said that some children belonging to Ronke's sisters and relatives were also in the house, so they too may have seen or heard something. What is not clear for a lot of people is how this escalated so tragically. Could it be that Ronke has been refusing this man sex for a very long time and he was sexually frustrated? Some people argue that. Some people believe that maybe he saw how good looking she was and did not trust she was going to church direct, and maybe thought she was going to see another man. Given their age differences, you could tell how insecure Tony must have been, being the older one and his wife being the younger, good-looking one. They are almost 20 years apart in age. So it is possible that Tony saw that, Ronke was looking so pretty, and when she goes to church, she would catch the eyes of other men, and he thought maybe he could play a fast one by exhausting her of any energy she might have to want to share with another man, which indicates a possible suspicion of infidelity, in my opinion. I guess, and I think that could be the biggest trigger for Tony. He may have been suspecting his wife. He may have felt that she was seeing other people, and this is usually common, most times unconscious in a lot of partners' mind, that they don't realize that part of why they are so insecure is because they feel that their partner is so good looking and so pretty and so beautiful that even if they claim to trust them, they still may not trust other people out there. As at the time of making this video, there is no update to the story if Tony Joshua had been caught and arrested. There were claims that he had fled the country, and people had posted a lot of his pictures all over the internet, waiting and hoping that the police finds him. This is a man who has traveled multiple times out of the country, so it is possible that he may still not be in Nigeria because he knows his way internationally. But I want to guess he probably did not take a flight because that would take a while. So I'm assuming he is in another state or most possibly in a neighboring African country. And that could be what the chances are, because he may not need visa or a big flight to get out of Nigeria. But it's so unfortunate. It's so sad that this woman had to lose her life this way because of a man. A lot of her friends had spoken up and they had told her that there was no reason why she had to actually marry Tony. Many of her friends who had been commenting and speaking up on her situation believed that Ronke on her own was fine, that she was hardworking, she was resourceful, and she even only had one daughter to take care of. And the daughter was already grown up, so there was no need for her to even have to marry Tony, as some people said. It was said that many people advised her to just focus on her kids or on her family or on herself rather than getting married to a much more older man. Because for what it's worth, that man is going to get a lot older and sicker and she might have to take care of him too. However, it's unclear why Ronke had to marry Tony Joshua. It's possible it was also for financial, assurance and stability. Clearly, it's difficult as a woman doing it all on your own, and maybe she thought a man like Joshua could probably support her. It's unclear. It also could be possible that she married him for love. It's just unfortunate it had to end this way. So hopefully we see if he's caught. I will check around. If there's an update to this story, I will let you guys know. So stay subscribed. Don't forget to turn on notification button so whenever there's a new video, you'll be the first to get notified.